All right, what is up, guys? My name is Hammy and welcome to the Hey Hammy podcast. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about diet, brother.
Diets?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
what
think-
kind of diets, baby?
I think we need to talk about your diet, yeah.
Yeah, listen.
Oh, shit, there you go.
My diet is inclusive of all types of food.
I thought you were going to say, like, my dad's inclusive of all types of people. But you're like, no, my dad is inclusive of all types of food. What the fuck?
Yeah, I eat everything, bro. I eat everything and I eat a lot of it.
Like, there's rights for chicken. I love chicken.
I fucking love chicken though, for real. You know what else I love? I love cock, baby. Fucking cock. That's right. I get a shit ton of cock in my diet.
All right, no, so we're going to be talking a little bit about media diet. So I've heard this from the Joe Rogan Experience, right? So he was interviewing Jimmy Carr, a comedian, a British comedian, and he was talking about, like, it's one of those moments where, like, you get from a podcast and you're like, oh, shit.
Damn, son, that's fucking
And this
good.
is like a proper one. This is not like those like woke and they're like, oh shit, bro, like, and they're talking about shit, like
Yeah.
it's stupid dumb shit. This
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like, he just said, everyone really takes care of like their diet and like how American culture is like, oh, you should try plant-based, you should try vegetarian, and they were like looking forward to taking care of their diet, but you don't necessarily pay attention to what your media diet is, and
That's
It-
that's a different perspective.
yeah,
Like,
it really puts me into a perspective of like, what am I consuming? And he put it in a very good way of like, your hamburgers and your fast food is like watching Love Island from Netflix or like Big Bang Theory, and like you're just purely taking in those things as like just junk.
Yeah.
It's junk for your media.
Yeah, I get
you know,
that.
it's meant for you to just enjoy. Like for the time being, like for example, if I'm eating, I like to watch Big Bang Theory, right?
Yeah.
It's purely just for me to like eat and enjoy.
Yeah.
But afterward, like it's gonna make me feel like shit.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. Yeah. that's-
So I don't know.
it's a very unique take. Like,
Yeah.
you don't, like, not a lot of people have. I don't think I've ever like even heard of that type of.
yeah.
Like, that's really fucking cool.
I've always been like aware of what I consume, but to put it in perspective of like what kind of media you consume is like in contrast with food, then I think that
Yeah,
that's where
that's
it's really, really
pretty
interesting. So maybe what we can do for today is like, what is fast food that we consume? What is the vegetables that we consume? What's like the carbohydrates that we consume in media?
Okay,
Does that make sense?
That's a cool way of fucking doing it.
So like, I think let's start with the good ones. Yeah, let's start with the junk food.
All right,
What kind of
yeah,
junk food
nice. Like your
media
chips, your
yeah.
fucking pizza, your
Yeah,
fucking
chips, pizza,
yeah,
your McDonald's,
fucking
your
hot dogs, baby.
once in a while HSPs,
long ass fucking glizzies, bro. Fucking glizzies.
I think for me personally, what is considered to me as hamburgers and my fast food of media is like my Netflix, Big Bang Theory. When I eat, I like to consume this type of things.
Yeah, I get that.
And I guess a little bit of like concerts, and maybe not even concerts, because I love watching concerts. Like I will watch like a 30-minute concert.
Yeah,
from, like,
you know what? But I also think, and I'm sure we can expand on this later.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's the like, what value do you take from what you consume?
Yeah, correct.
Right. So like, say for someone who isn't very big in like music, or like isn't very like entranced with that type of stuff, right? Watching like a concert or like all of that stuff, right? To them might be like pizza in terms of like food, right?
Yeah.
But for someone such as yourself, or anyone who's like more involved in like the world of music, watching a concert for them could be like something that they not only get to enjoy, but something that they can study as well. So for them, that's no longer pizza. That's a fucking salad.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know. Maybe
Yeah.
a salad, right?
I guess it's
Salad.
also like, if your goal is to like grow your body and you're bulking, then the fast food isn't necessarily fast food for that time being.
Yeah, I
So,
get that.
Yeah. But I guess, then it's probably just purely like just Netflix, like Big Bang Theory, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like
I don't-
sitcoms and stuff.
Yeah, and a tiny bit of just fun music. I think.
Yeah.
Look, in this generation, man, like we're all using Spotify. We all love music. But I think for me personally right now, I think that's why I started listening to podcasts a little bit more, because I found myself like when I'm going to school, coming back home, I'm just listening to music just because it's like filling up this empty space while I'm going to school.
Yeah.
But I'm just listening to the same songs for no reason.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get what you're
I still
saying.
love the songs.
Right,
I still love like 24K Magic. Like that's what I like all this kind of shit.
You're a big Bruno fan.
Yeah,
aren't
I'm
you?
a big Bruno fan, alright?
But for those listening who don't know, basically, Hammy is Bruno Mars.
Of course.
He is Bruno Mars.
Of course.
And Hammy, what did you say? Who did you say I was?
The right hand man of Bruno Mars. What's his name? Peter. Is it Chris? I forgot his name. Oh shit.
Yeah, Hammy sings and I dance, baby. That's the combo.
Pop it, But yeah, okay. I guess because I'm also a media student, I'm very self-aware with what I consume nowadays.
Yeah.
But looking back, I think as much as I was a music person, I think there was a level of the amount of concerts I was watching was unhealthy.
I get.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe Running Man. Yeah, from the Korean
ooh,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah.
I was
love Running Man.
watching those like 5 hours straight. Yeah.
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 I think this is probably something that like comes really big into like the whole binge watching.
Oh
scene
no,
of-
wait. I've totally forgot like as a whole just Instagram Reels.
Oh my cool.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking hell. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts,
Yeah.
TikTok, all that shit. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just like
Yeah.
you can spend so many hours in a day just watching that. Like it's dopamine hit after dopamine hit after dopamine hit. It's just like something you can waste your fucking day away on.
Yeah. What do I feel like is Instagram real in terms of food?
I
It's
think
just-
but it's like also dependent on what kind of like what kind of content
yeah.
you get, because for me, right, I'm not that much on TikTok. For me, my TikTok is Instagram Reels, right? So my Instagram Reels is just the fucking wildest, like it's all like 420p fucking video quality
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I guess then it comes to like how long and how much you take it in, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
having a McDonald's meal isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just how much of that are you taking in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's also like I'd say it's stuff like that for a lot of people is needed. They need stuff to like, because I guess you can say that like a McDonald's meal is also something that you can like escape to, right? Like if you sometimes you just need that cheat meal. Sometimes you need that. So stuff like this is good for people that
Yeah. And
Yeah,
if you have like a busy life and like you have a lot of work and then you do Instagram Reels and then you do it like for 30 minutes or so, then that's fine. But I think the problem is I have quite a few people that I know of that like that's their main source of media that they consume. Like what do you do on like your off time for media? Then they consume Instagram Reels, TikTok, and that's it.
Yeah.
Then that's where like I feel like I think Instagram Reels, TikTok, no matter how educational it is, if you go on to like a non-stop scrolling of like 30 minutes or more, then that's already a hamburger.
Yeah, I get that.
Right? Yeah, because I get like a lot of motivational stuff, but if I'm just scrolling through motivational stuff and I'm not doing the motivational stuff.
Yeah, at that point it's not.
Yeah,
it's not.
yeah,
what
exactly,
it's intended
exactly.
for
So
anymore.
it's
I get that.
So I don't know. I think that's the hamburger side of things. So I guess what would be like the healthy side, the vegetables, the carbs that you should consume a lot more if you are consuming media.
Yeah, because
right?
I've got a few examples already.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like for one, I think watching stuff that's going on in the world, stuff that you educate yourself with what's happening in like, around the globe, humanity-wise, right? Learning about that stuff, and then watching news outlets or like reading newspapers, but like also not just leaving yourself on one perspective, so as to say. Like, I'd say like a healthy dose, right? In terms like because we're using fucking analogs for this shit. You could read a newspaper that's talking about one side of the story, but then for you to also go search for the other side of the story, right? To make sure that you've really like researched on it. I think that type of media is like important just in general, because I think it allows you to take a break from pure entertainment and to learn about what's actually going on out in the world. I think that's good carbs. That was the first thing. News in general was like the first thing. The other thing that I think is really good is watching pieces of media that have been made for a purpose other than entertainment. And some of the best examples that I have is I'd like to mention a channel on YouTube that I'd like to watch. His name is Lemino, and he does like documentary style videos, long form.
How do you spell that?
Lemmino, Lemino.
Okay.
It's so he makes long form videos in a documentary style that talk about like cases or like cases in history that are on like the mysterious side or like on the stuff that's just, I guess, unique, right? And he does it in a brilliant way. He puts a fucking shit ton of effort into it. It's like he gets animations done for it. He pulls up, and this is the important part. He pulls up actual evidence, and he pulls up actual reportings, and then he references them and stuff. So he'll get like actual case files. He'll get actual what's it called, newspapers from the days that this like type of stuff happened, like the disappearance of the Malaysian air flight back in 2000. When was it? It was like,
I forgot what year, but it's just the Malaysian MH3.
MH3, yeah, that one, yeah. So he did a video on the disappearance of that flight, right? Yeah, and it was just so well made. Like he got the like the psychological reports for the pilots on that, right? And then he broke that down. He talked about the path that the flight took. He talked about the like how much fuel consumption was used in like certain parts of the flight, and it was like watching stuff like that. It's not. Yes, of course, the entertainment value is there, right? Yeah. But it also gets you thinking. It gets your mind kind of like moving. You know, you're like, damn, wow, okay. That has value to it, right? It allows it teaches you and it shows you, like real life, like stuff. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think most importantly, what you're talking about is like we're learning through entertainment as well. Yeah. Because I think the problem with a lot of like the media consumption that we've been forced down our throats through like YouTube, Twitch, is that it's purely just entertainment and like what's the value behind it. And the things that can have value can also be entertaining. It's just you have to search a little bit further deep in, and everyone will have their own thing, right? You'll want to know about like human. I think just knowing about history is all of us want to know a little bit about history and like how things work. If like MH370, for example, right? If you're Malaysian, Singaporean, everyone wants to know what's going on. If you're Australian, maybe there was like a case that you want to understand a little bit more. Maybe there's like a channel as well that talks a little bit about like the Aboriginal people. There's like that channel, right? Like Simplified. I think the channel is Simplified. Amazing channel, right? So what they talk, like they do the animations of like, the animations look very cute, and that's the point. It's
they're simple, easy to follow, easy to understand.
It's for you to just visually look at it as like very entertaining and interesting, but the value and the content itself is very educational. So I think having that choice to choose to watch these kind of things is very, very important. And it's like, I would say, make it your carbs. You have to make it your carbs because like it can. I don't know what other content I can say that's like that's fun but you still have value, like documentaries, I guess.
Just documentaries in general. I mean, like
it can also be entertaining, like documentaries, podcasts, or like those are like the main things that you want to, because carbs is something that like you consume a lot more than like other things, or like vegetables and like protein. Obviously it depends on who you are, but I feel like nowadays I really pay attention to like what I mostly consume as media. I try to like, for example, if I'm down the rabbit hole of like going to like YouTube after next video, I make sure that it's like a documentary or like something that I can learn from and it's still entertaining, instead of just like watching fucking Big Bang Theory next episode, or like if I'm watching a movie, I'm trying to make sure that it's not just Love Island or like just some dumb shit. Do you know what I mean? Where it's purely just entertainment,
it's
or
just,
like
nothing else.
In our generation right now, the younger kids like to watch like Twitch and like people like Neon, Sneeko. Like it's fun to watch. I'll admit it's fun to watch, but what the fuck is the value behind it? Like you're just watching people. The thing is, they make these things look like it's their daily life, but it's all planned. Right?
Yeah.
It's all according to plan. So like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because it gets there's a lot of people out there that like focus really heavily on it as well.
Yeah.
It's like they talk to each other about like, oh my god, guys, I think Sneaker's gonna do this tomorrow or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they just like they have full conversations about like why he did it or how he did it.
Yeah.
Or like, oh boys, I think speed at the fucking Ballon d'Or ceremony, right? Which, to be fair, was fucking hilarious because the man started barking when Messi was in play. It's like,
yeah. It's entertainment, but like but you have to realize that is your junk food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you just can't consume as much. If you consume that as much, then it's like you're just brain dead. I feel like nowadays I've understood comedians a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah?
Because comedians, what I've realized about comedians is the skill that a comedian has, like when you put Kevin Hart, Andrew Schulz, Matt Rife is huge right now, right?
Yeah, Matt Rife's fucking huge.
What they have is very interesting is because it's not just funny entertainment. It's to be able to have all these deep conversations in a funny way.
Yeah.
And if you're able to make it in a funny way, you're able to converse with everyone else.
Yeah.
So for example, I think Matt Rife has like jokes where he talks about like trans people, where he talks about LGBT people, and then he talks about like what else, like red flags within people. He has like a whole special just for red flags.
Really?
Yeah. And like he's really like diving in deep to those conversations, but like people might just take it as like comedy. It's just funny.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like the way they are able to make conversations that are hard to have with a lot of people, but in a comedic sense.
Yeah.
I think that's like I've learned to really appreciate comedians as like an art form.
Yeah. I get that. Yeah, I get what you mean because there's like a skill to it as well.
Yeah.
Like
it's definitely not just like making jokes. Like they definitely play.
Like you have to, if you can incorporating like real worlds, like real talk into like a funny subtext it's that's a skill. You need that.
I think that's why people have been leaning a little bit towards podcasts as well because like there's a lot of like dumb shit going on right now.
Yeah, like I could like literally I could say I'm gonna suck your fucking dick at me, right? In a completely serious conversation. It's good.
Isn't it crazy, Ben? Like I said, like it's only been 2-3 years since podcast has been a big thing, even though I've been listening to it a lot. But like it brings such value to the earth right now with all these political things going on that I don't want to say what political things. I think you guys know what's going on in the world, but I think podcasts and media in general brings like a level of authenticity behind just purely news that I think we have to consume more to think more. Yeah, I think I was going to this because like I think we have reached a point as humans we don't think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything is just given to us when you're watching like
I get what you mean. Like
you're just watching media, you're doing school, everything is just given to you and you're not thinking. But when you listen to podcasts or like when you go out and like seek for something,
it forces you to think about what you believe in, and like especially if you're listening to podcasts such as this one, if you as a listener were listening to what me and Hammy were talking about, and we're talking about a subject where we're voicing our opinions, as a listener, you yourself aren't forced to believe in what we're saying, right? You kind of get thinking about what we're saying is something that you can resonate with. And I think so I think in that sense, like you said before, podcasts being something that are important, I get that, I understand that.
I guess it's also like working out your brain when it's your diet, but when you're consuming these things, like it's working out for your brain in a way that like these forms of media, like a documentary or like a podcast, it has their own spreading their own version of like spreading a message, but it's not necessarily trying to put you in that message. It's
it's just
trying to get you to think.
It's telling you to think about what you actually believe in, what you think it is. It's important. I think it's a very important part of the media diet. There are some things that you don't have to think about, shit that you can just eat and eat and eat. But then there are other things, such as, this, where you're like, okay, All right. I see what you're saying.
What are you consuming mostly right now?
Me personally, right now, it's heavily like situational and contextualized, depending on how your life is going. Like right now, for me personally, my uni sem is done, so I'm on break. So right now, my life consists of either playing video games with my friends, which in and of itself is, I think, a form of like media as well, because you're like, I guess you're just like playing games, right? You're just doing it, and then like work. So if I'm like not doing that, like the type of media that I watch now at home is like I'm rewatching How I Met Your Mother, right? That for me is just pure entertainment, right? I can just watch that. I can just eat some food, just watch the show, and it's just a feel good experience for myself. But then there are, I think at the moment I'm actually really into like mysteries. Yeah. I like I like listening to. Like Let Me Know, like I mentioned before, Nexpo, NEXPO is a YouTube channel where he kind of just does long form videos on stuff around the internet. Like he dives into cases such as like a lot of Reddit stuff. Where real life people do things on the internet and basically how that tracks back to what they're doing in real life.
Yeah.
So just like mysterious shit, like fucking horror shit. It's got like that horror
something to
element
make you
it.
like think, right?
So it's just like stuff like that's what I've been watching.
Fair enough. I mean, obviously, I'm starting this podcast, so I listen to a lot of podcasts, and like, there's a lot of inspiration that's coming from that side. I listen to a lot of like a Joe Rogan, Andrew Scholes, George Janko, Impulsive. Impulsive was good for a while, and then I stopped listening for a little bit. But he's still a great businessman. I'll take it, but I just don't really want to listen to Logan Paul too much.
Yeah.
But
wait, hold on. Can you say why you don't want to listen to Logan Paul anymore?
I think what I've realized that his podcast has been doing nowadays is just very not much value in what it used to be. Because when he was, Logan has been going on with this like up and down for years, right? Like the Japanese like suicide thing, and then back to like reclaiming his part, and then now to this Dylan Dennis fight, all this kind of like crap that he's going through.
Yeah.
But he went through a phase with Impulsive where he had George and Mike, and they were like interviewing like Shaq, and then David Guetta, a lot of like very interesting questions, and just like very business based, and like Kevin Hart, Ice Cube. He interviewed a lot of good people, and like he was a very good businessman. But the more I watch, the more I realize it's just like it's a lot of profit based talking. And if you want to live your life like that, it's fine. Like I don't have any doubts about it. But like I prefer having something that has like genuine value out of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Speaking of like value to media, right? I wanted to talk about something. There's like a lot of people, right, in the world who like they're aware, but they don't care about the value of media.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So there's some people who have like a set routine to the way they live their lives. And the media that they watch and the media that they consume is stuff that's purely just something that's going to give them joy.
Yeah.
So I think for like our listeners, right? If you're someone who wants to add value to your media, that's something that you should definitely do, right? Something that gets your brain thinking. But I also don't want to fault the people in the world that just watch media for the sake of their, like, for themselves. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a philosophical thing. Like, it's like,
I would say it's like you should know who you are. If you feel victimized by the words that we're talking about right now, that means you're like watching dumb shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same with like people who eat a lot of fast food. Like, you're doing the dumb shit and you're not exercising, then you know that if I'm saying don't eat fast food and you're pissed, you're like guilty about it.
Yeah.
But if you're working out a lot and you're bulking, if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, yeah, I don't care because I know I'm bulking.
Right. Yeah.
So it really depends on like specifically for podcasts. A lot of people think podcast is like just a bunch of people just getting on a podcast and like talking shit and like have like sometimes they get clips and they're like, oh my god, this is so stupid. Like my younger brother does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
He sends me clips and he'll be like, oh my god, do you see Joe Rogan talk about this? This is so stupid. And I'm like, have you listened to him as a whole? You only watch clips. If you put any part of this whole podcast and you just put it as a clip, you're gonna bound to find something dumb from this thing. 100%.
Bro, not 20 minutes, not even, I don't know how long ago it was.
Yeah.
I literally said I was gonna fucking bum you after this podcast was finished.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that single clip was just like taken?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
then it's just,
And
like,
we are. And I'm not gonna like, if people are gonna hate on the podcast or whatever, like if they're gonna take clips and take it out of context, like I'm not gonna be sad about it, because you know the people who are taking in that content are people who don't want to research more.
Yeah.
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 So that's just the reality of it, right?
I see, like, I think as long as you're not someone who's just like basing your conclusions and your judgment of someone based on a very small snippet of what they've said, I think that's like fine, because you can enjoy a stupid clip from a fucking Joe Rogan Experience podcast, right? But as long as you know that, like, because this is out of context, I don't know what they've been talking about, I don't know where this conversation has come from or where it's going, right? I can't make a conclusion of what I think as a whole. I know that this specific clip out of context is dumb and funny, but I can't say that Joe Rogan is just dumb and funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're already thinking from that like thinking point of view. A lot of people don't look at it like
just
that,
like
right?
you have
So,
you have to be aware. You just need to I think people should think more.
yeah, because the reason why I'm also talking about this is everyone consumes a form of media. Everyone, right?
Yeah, everyone.
It doesn't even matter if it's digital media. It can be like the news, for example. But if you're just what's the word I'm looking for? Making your decision based on what you see, just that one point of view and at face value.
At face value, yeah.
And that's a lot of people in the world, you know. Then that's where problems start to arise with like having proper conversations with people. And that's why I'm genuinely excited to see where the world is going, because podcasts are getting more common, and it's a place where you're meant, in the media space, it's meant for you to make mistakes. And I think it's also our fault as humans, because when we started as a media, right, there's a lot of like movies, a lot of short form clips. It was really short formed, like, you know, back in YouTube, like it was like 2-3 minute, 4-5 minute videos, and now you can watch like a 20-minute video and you feel like it's fine. Like we're slowly in the media space being able to like consume a longer form content and being accepting of mistakes on media, because accepting someone's mistakes in real life and accepting someone's mistake in media seems like it's connected, but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, because when you go to work or like when you're at home and you make a mistake, obviously you'll be like, oh, okay, like, I'm sorry, mom, or I'm sorry, dad, like I'll fix it, and then no one really like looks bad at you. But the second, if I put that video of like you fucking up with your mom, like maybe you didn't throw the trash out, and I put a video out, everyone can look at you as like, oh, you're spoiled, you're this, and like there's no room for improvement.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about podcasts as a long form content. Then people are more accepting.
You can reflect on the stuff that you've said.
People start to think a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess pushing aside media, like digital media as just the media that we consume, I would want to talk a little bit about music consumption.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay, transition. I have to talk about music diet, because everyone listens to music.
Yeah.
You know, and everyone has different types of music that they listen to and different reasons why they listen to certain music. And like I said before, like as a musician first, I listen to a lot of music in a sense where like I'm like understanding, oh, this is what they did to produce this. Lyrically, they did very interesting. I'm also thinking about these kind of things. But I've realized like even me as a musician, let me check the battery. Even me as a musician, I've realized like I said before, I'm just listening to it just to fill up my brain with like that serotonin
to just fill
boost.
out that void of
void of
like,
emptiness. And I think that's not good for your brain, because that's just like let's say after you eat a meal, you're just like taking snacks. You're not actually putting good nutrients in your food. And that's what music was doing to me for a while. And I'm not trying to name artists right now because I don't necessarily have an artist that I hate, but like when it's just music that you always listen to that's like, oh yeah, fuck that bitch, and then there's a lot of like right now like wet ass
Wet ass pussy.
like maybe if you guys go to the club and like once in a while that song pops out, fine, but if that's predominantly the music that you listen to,
That's the only source of music that you listen to.
if that's like purely the music you listen to and like you genuinely just vibe with it, like I don't know, like just personally for me the value it loses the value, doesn't it?
Yeah,
right?
I get what you're
like
saying.
I don't hate the artist, I love Cardi B, but it's like it's what people choose to listen to, right? It really depends. There's artists are at no point wrong. Whatever you want to do as an artist, I think no one should be blamed. But I think humans, like the people that I meet, there are some people that are like listening to like just a very, very weird playlist.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Questionable playlist.
Questionable,
that you're like,
very questionable.
You're like, is that it? Like, is that it? Like, all I'm hearing is like wet ass pussies, like vagina slipping, and like, I don't know,
See, like, I think because both of us agree that like something like wet ass pussy is not exactly like a piece of music that you're gonna like jam your head to every now and then. For those of you out there who actually like do listen to
no,
such
it's not about the song itself.
Yeah,
if that's like the main thing that you dive into.
But also, like we said before, with the just digital media and like visual media, right? It's how you take the value of what you're listening to, right? Like if you I I had a friend in high school who used to listen to what's it called, the Indian remixes for like popular hip hop songs.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. He'd listen to them purely to get pissed off. Like that's what he took the value of those music. Like
Okay, wait, but your friend listens to it to get pissed, like.
Right. I should explain. So he's Indian, right? I should say, and it would piss him off. Right, because it's a very over-exaggerated Indian accent that's singing it, and objectively the song, not even objectively, sorry, like subjectively from my point of view and his, it's a stupid fucking song, right? It's literally just to laugh at. And if it was like your main piece of, if that's what you would listen to, right, I'd say it's pretty questionable. Yeah. He would listen to it to get like pissed off so that he could be more productive. Yeah. I think he used to do it for assignments, and he would do it when he was going to the gym. Yeah. He'd listen to it, it would put him in a mindset where he just gets fucking pissed off. So whatever he's doing in front of him, he can, I don't know, I guess he can like do it more thoroughly, I guess.
Yeah. And that's very interesting, isn't it? Like you really, and like I think you just have to have these conversations with people to understand like what the music is for you, and like you just never know, man. Like hearing someone get pissed off from like dumb music,
like that's a unique like perspective.
You do you do you. If it works for you, then why not?
Exactly.
But yeah, what else?
What did you say was the music that you're listening to right now?
Right now, I would say predominantly whatever's that's kind of new, because I'm looking at it in the space of like why is it famous and how the production methods are going through.
So that's the value.
It's a little bit more technical in that sense, where like for example like 7 by Jungkook or like 3D, and like why is it more famous than like some songs that I'm listening to by Ed Sheeran. So Ed Sheeran right now is just purely doing songs for himself,
right?
Where he's just like not trying to please people, and the production is also like more
more chill, more
more
mellow,
chill.
right?
There's no like verse hook like is very like trying to capture you.
Yeah.
And lyrically is not crazy. Like for example, like 7 by Jungkook is like Monday, Tuesday, I'm gonna be fucking you, right? like people like it, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to understand where is it like in the like why is it famous? And like production wise. So there's a little bit of like that. Yeah, that technical side of me. So it's definitely very different from how people.
So you personally that technical side of you finds value.
I love it, but I also don't listen to it as much as I used to. You know what I mean? So I've like sometimes I'll catch myself like if I'm going to work, then like I've realized I've been listening to music during my whole gym session, and I'm like, okay, like stop. I have to stop myself and like get some value today, like consume some healthy food of like media today, and like continue on. Yeah, and it goes back to that thing where I tell people like the more you seek or like the more you do, the more you're energized to do it. But the more lazy you are, the more you're just gonna dive into that bullshit life. And so like the more you just keep listening to music, or the more you just have things that you consume that has no like value to you, that's just plainly to fill up your brain, the more like you just won't think. That's what I've realized.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, so I've started to like listen to more podcasts on the way to work and like applying the values to my real life. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where I started to transition to learning about Andrew Tate as a whole because of podcasts, because there was so many clips of him that I just didn't get it. Like this doesn't make sense. All right, this guy is some rich asshole that's coming randomly and talking about women, but why do people care? Like, why are people caring so much? I've learned to like really understand him from podcasts and everything, but in its face value is because there's a level of comedic sense in it. Yeah, that's why people pay attention. Yeah, if he just purely said like "fuck women," like I'm a misogynist, blah blah blah, I don't think people would pay attention. But because the way he did it was comedic in a way. Yeah, like it just can't be real. Like, how the fuck is this real? Do you know what I mean?
He did it in a way that would like. It's just the way that he delivered everything that he said. And we talked about this earlier. There's a lot of people who dislike Andrew Tate for who he is. That's one of the reasons that they dislike for who he is.
That they see online.
Yeah, for
the clips that they see.
Exactly. And in that sense, it's like, okay, but have you done your research? Have you seen everything that there is to see? Have you gone through the stuff that he said more recently as well, right? Because obviously, and I'm fairly sure he's said this before, the character that he put in his like early days when he's like first came onto the internet, right? He did it to real people. He did it to like entertain people, and to like kind of create an audience for himself. And once that was established, right? That's when he started to move for. But also, I've like not only did he like do it to establish a media, and then he actually I believe like from what I've seen, he actually has grown as a person as well. Yeah. Because when he first started, he wasn't a follower of God. Yeah, and now he's Muslim. He's Muslim now. So you can see. So it's stuff like that, right? Where at the start,
sorry to interrupt you at this point, but like. I think for people who hate him, like genuinely hate him and don't want to learn more, like if I'm telling you like, no, he's not like that at all right now, he's Muslim, he's everything, and you don't want to listen to that, then I think you have to remember that if you are forever going to hate him from what you see, then don't expect people to accept you when you change.
That's
like, because you're going to be that hypocrite. Yeah. Like you don't want to see people change. You don't want to see Andrew Tate change. Then why the fuck should I listen to you if you change as a person?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah. How are you going to take
every single person like in the world went throughout their lives. Fucking life is a fucking journey. Yeah. Like you have to you go through different shit. You're not the same fucking dickhead you were when you were a kid. Like, see, shit like that just fucking pisses me off, right? Because it's just so fucking stupid. It's like, okay, I was a cunt when I was 18, but now I'm 30 fucking 5. I'm I'm not a fucking dickhead going around ding dong ditching people. Like, what? What the fuck, cunt? You need to understand that people change. People go through shit. Yeah. Right? But I also think it's like the illusion of people online. I think that's a big thing. Yeah, because people online, like a lot of people that see like, you know, public figures online, they don't see them as someone who is a human such as themselves. Yeah, right? Yeah. Someone who's actually wakes up, goes throughout their day, goes to bed, right? That's not something they see. They see them for what they are and what it is online. And that's it.
Yeah. I'll wrap this up with this interview that Andrew Tate did with the BBC media. My dad watched it as well, and I showed him the uncut version and the BBC cut version as well. So what I think people should study from this is, for example, in the BBC one, they straight away like give you an edited version of like how they ask him question, right? So if you're watching the news, right? Let's say like story time, right? You're at home with your family, BBC News comes up, and then a reporter is over there like introduction, like he's in the studio, he's like, okay, today we have Andrew Tate interviewed by our interviewer, blah, blah, blah. Gonna ask him about his rape allegations. And then like, Andrew Tate, do you rape this, blah, 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 blah. And then he's like, no, I didn't rape anyone. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Blah, blah, blah. He may look defensive, and then there's cuts here and there. And then you're taking it at face value like, maybe he's
like
lying.
the initial reaction to such a statement is obviously going to be more like emphasized than after you've settled in, right?
Yeah.
Like if you were to like start the interview with like, Hammy, is it true that you raped those 3 women? You're like, what the fuck? No.
Yeah. So obviously he's like a little bit what's the word, disheveled or something like that. And then you watch this media interview that's like cut here and there, goes to him, goes to her, goes to him, goes to her. And yeah, it may be good, it may be bad. It is what it is, but you're taking that form of media, right? Now, if you take a step back to think and see the uncut version of this, right? And not just the uncut version. If you put yourself in that shoe, you have to remember how this thing works. BBC calls Andrew Tate for an interview. Hi, can I get an interview? Andrew Tate, right? You're asking this person. No, doesn't matter. This person is, if he actually raped the people, if he's a bad person, you're still asking him a favor.
Yeah.
Can I interview you?
Yeah.
Sure. I'll go to your house. I'll get some mics ready. All right. BBC comes into Andrew Tate's house, sits down, set up their cameras. First question that they ask you in their house. So let's say you're in your house, right? The media wants to interview you. Sit down in your house. You give them tea. And first thing they ask you, not how are you? Did you rape these 3 people? How would that make you feel? Like you not invited, but like you accepted this person's offer to come over to your house, and then you ask that question instantly, and I just gave you tea. Like, you have to have like a level of humanization of you. Like, yes, that person's a criminal, but in your head right now, he's a criminal, but you're asking them for a favor. You still have to treat them with a level of respect of a human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
I
I think
get that.
that's lacking a lot in... That understanding is lacking a lot.
Yeah, I think just the empathy behind it isn't incredibly strong.
Yeah.
Right? This person isn't like convicted.
Yeah.
This person
And he's not
isn't-
even like confirmed.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. I think that's a big point, right? I think in that sense, that level of respect is needed, right? Because the whole world may be against you, and there may be so much shit against you about terrible things that you may or may not have done. But in a hypothetical situation, you for yourself know that you haven't done it, right? It like the world doesn't know it, but it's a fact that you haven't done it, right? In that sense, that respect is needed, right? But let's say this is a convicted criminal in fucking jail, right?
Yeah.
And he's killed fucking 30 people. Does he deserve that level of respect? Does he do like in that sense, right?
Yeah.
In that sense, is it how you
to
treat
think
that
back, like, I don't know if you've seen the interview with Ted Bundy. I think that interviewer treated Ted Bundy nicer than how the BBC
treated
interviewed Andrew Tate.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker raped and killed how many women?
I think like probably more than 50.
Yeah,
An insane amount.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Those are people that lost their lives.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Fucking nothing that. It was allegations.
Yeah.
Allegations, man. And yes, it gets you mad. If you take it at face value for what you hear, stuff that if you are told, right, that this person did this and that, and all the stuff that he did was terrible, it's gonna get you mad.
Yeah.
And that's understandable. But you have to take a step back and you have to like think about this type of stuff.
Yeah.
It's alleged that he's done this. It's alleged that he did that, right? So now it's up to you to look at what's being given as an evidence, and then of course it's the responsibility of a higher court, of like in a sort of like the government, like, you know, like the judicial system to like see if that's like right or not. But that, of course, that responsibility that doesn't fall you.
Yeah. I think that's the whole point of this, to wrap up this this thing is like we're not trying to get people to be on whoever's side,
Exactly.
but rather just
To
to think about the situation and have your own proper conclusion.
It's very easy to hate someone when someone else has told you that they've killed someone, right? It's easy to do that. Take a step back. Did the person who told me they killed someone, are they trustworthy? What's their source? What's their evidence? Who is this person that they're alleging? Like, I think if people in the world took a step back and asked questions, we wouldn't be in the fucking mess that we are.
Yeah, and then if you want to go back to like the title of this title of this episode being with diet, it's like the more you consume fast food and like just shit food, or just meats like red meat and all that kind of stuff, when people talk about like healthier food, it's sort of hard to understand where they're coming from. But and like you think like there's no other delicious food, like healthy food has to be bad. But then you start to realize like if you actually open up your brain to different forms of media, different forms of like longer podcasts, it is a little bit longer and harder to understand. But there's so many other options when you start to like open up your brain. Like there's a lot of different foods like Asian food, Arabic food, Turkish food. There's a lot of different Indian food that's healthy.
You got me feeling hungry, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a lot of food that's like healthier for you. There's a lot of different varieties. Even with salads, right? Like there's like chicken salad. There's like salad with nuts. Like everything. There's so many things that you can. Yo. You know what I mean, right? Yeah, like there's a lot of variation within the food
there's
aspect
like
of life as well.
peanuts, there's walnuts, there's fucking almond nuts. Fucking so many nuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of different, like, just because it's healthy doesn't mean it's not tasty.
Yeah,
and I think it's the same with media diet. It's like just because it's valuable and informative doesn't mean it's unentertaining. It can still be entertaining. Yeah. So I guess we covered quite a bit.
Yeah, we
on
did.
this one.
We covered
on like,
fucking Jesus Christ.
For like, yeah, it definitely got us thinking. I hope you guys got to reflect a little bit on the media diet that you have. I think personally for me, I've been on a pretty decent media diet, and I just have to keep maintaining myself there.
Fair.
I think that's the thing with people have to understand as well. Like, you're gonna fail, and it's fine. You know, once in a while you're gonna drop again, and then you're gonna go back up again. As long as you're trying.
Yeah, as long as you're pushing for yourself to, you know, be the, like, find the best stuff, and, you know, just find the most stuff.
Yeah,
I think just one point before we finish, I just wanted to say it to you listeners, is there may be things said in the podcast that you yourself don't believe in, right? You don't agree with Hammy or I, and at no point would Hammy or myself tell you guys to believe in what we're saying.
Believe it. Naruto coming in.
Fucking Naruto.
What you're saying is also like it doesn't have to have an end goal.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to have like a yes or no.
A yes or no.
Yeah,
it can leave. It can be left open ended, and whatever the end is, that's for you to decide. Yeah.
All right, that's about it. For those listening or watching through the video version of this podcast, if you have any media diet that you want to share with us, or like what kind of media do you guys consume, right? Leave it in the comment section below. Like, let us know, like, what have you done to improve yourself, or like what you think your media diet is. Like, is yours a lot of hamburgers, or is yours a lot of vegetables, or is yours vegetarian? Is there such thing as a vegetarian media diet?
Such thing as a meatball diet?
Meatball diet? There's a lot of like Andrew Tate because I'm meatballs now. I'm kidding. I love that man, all right? I love that man, all right? Muslim brother to Muslim brother, all right? Yeah, overall, if you have any questions, leave it down in the comment section below. I hope you guys like this episode, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye. Peace.